each and everyone. I'm Dion D'Souza from Kalmadi and I'm presently pursuing my BA LLB degree at Vaikunta Balika College of Law, Woodby. Today, 26th of November, is indeed a very special day for Indians, and it was on this day in 1949 that the people of India adopted the constitution for the country. Today, my topic of explanation to you all is the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So first, let us try to understand what is preamble, what is its source, and what does it have to say. Maximum products that we buy, it might be a pen, or it might be some electronics, or it might be some machines, or even books, comes with a manual, or in simple terms, an introduction that tells us how to use, how to keep, to maintain, and what is the purpose of the product. In a similar manner, every act or every legislation comes with a preamble. Basically, preamble means a manual, a guide, or an introduction to the Indian Constitution, of which we are trying to learn or understand today. The word preamble is derived from a Latin word preambulus, which means to go before. That means anything you read or anything you use, you need to know the basics before that. So that is what it basically means. The preamble means to go before. And as I explained to you a little time before, in the introductory statement, the preamble explains the purpose, philosophy, uses, ideas and aspirations, principles and objectives of the Indian Constitution. Many also say that preamble is like a blueprint. So basically, a building is constructed, the entire construction comes in a paper. You plan it first, you design it first, and that is what is being executed. So exactly for the Indian Constitution, preamble is the plan and preamble is the major aspect which defines what the Constitution is. So now, let me read out the preamble for you and explain a few more important aspects on it. The Constitution of India Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. I hope you just got an idea of what our Constitution actually is. And what I read now, the preamble, is nothing but an introduction to the entire Constitution of India. Now let me explain to you in parts the preamble. So the preamble, when I read it, it started with "We, the people of India." This line is very self-explanatory and it basically means the source and the power of the Indian Constitution. So the meaning is that no outside country or no outside force or no outside leader can influence the Indian Constitution. It means the Constitution is drafted by the Indians through the elected representatives or through the people in the Constituent Assembly and then the Constitution. So what happens here is we, the people of India itself, have drafted this Constitution and it is nobody else who has interfered into it. Now let me enter into the first line itself, but the 5 important words which are in it. These 5 words actually defines the nature of the Indian Constitution. It tells what the Indian Constitution is all about, the nature, the character of the Indian Constitution. The first word is sovereign, the second word is socialist, the third word secular, the fourth one is democratic, and the fifth one is republic. Okay, now what these words have to actually tell is that sovereign. Sovereign means India is an independent country. No other external force or not any other country can interfere or will interfere into the decisions made by India. So it means that the sovereign means that we can handle our internal aspects by our own. The second term, socialist. It means that we, the Indians, are united as one to create a welfare state. And welfare state means a state with no poverty, with equality. So basically we try to remove equality, we try to eliminate poverty, and this term is basically derived from the Mahatma Gandhi ideology. That is what he wished India to be, and that is what we are working with. So that is the second term, socialist. The third term, secular. Secular means a state or a country has no religion. In India, we run by the secular principle. So what in simple terms, if I would like to explain to you, it means that Indians are allowed to practice, profess and propagate the religion of their choice. But India as a country doesn't practice any religion of its own, or India doesn't have any religion, nor the states, Karnataka or any other states, have no particular religion of their choice. It is left to the people to practice, profess and propagate the religion which they want to. The fourth term, that is democracy. Democracy, if you split the words into two parts, the first part, demo, it means people, and cracy, it means the rule. So, in a statement, if I would like to tell you, it is the rule of the people. In India, the government is formed by the people. We elect our representatives by the power of vote, and our elected representatives amend or make rules for the people, for the betterment of the people and on our behalf. So it means that India's government is elected by the people, and that is what means democracy, rule of the people. The fifth term is a republic. You might see the Prime Minister of India. He is elected by the people, by us. You might see the President. He is also an elected representative. So what happens is, republic, the term republic is an exact opposite of monarchy. There are some countries in this world which have a monarchy rule. Monarchy means a king rule. So what happens is, the son of the king further becomes the king when the king actually dies. But it doesn't happen in India. In India, when one person or the Prime Minister finishes his term, people elect a person through the right of vote. So that is how a republic is. So now I'm pretty sure you have understood the first part, that is we the people of India, and the second part which I have explained to you, that is the 5 important words: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So as of now, the preamble of Indian Constitution, we have finished 2 major parts. Now let me come to the third part, that is the 4 other important terms, that is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. What is justice? Everybody know what is justice. That means being just or facing equal treatment or being equal amongst all and getting more importance to what is right. The second term, liberty. Liberty means being free. The freedom to travel around, might be the freedom to live in the lifestyle we want, or anything that is meaning that, you try to be free. You're free. Nobody can stop you from traveling within India. You have your own right to travel within India. And that is what liberty is. Liberty means nothing but freedom. The third term is equality. Equality means the state of being equal. Might be rich or might be poor. The law remains same to all. And the fourth term is fraternity. Fraternity means sharing common interests. The interests of the public. The interests of the maximum of the people. That is what fraternity is. So by now I have completed 3 major parts of the preamble of the Indian Constitution, and the fourth and the final statement is the date, 26th November 1949, that is today in 1949. So this was the day when we actually adopted the Indian Constitution, and then it was put into practice, and 2 months later, that is on January 26th, is the year when we actually consider India to be republic. So this was my very small explanation on the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So now let me once again read out the preamble of the Indian Constitution to you all. And I would wish that if you had a copy of the preamble of the Indian Constitution, you read it along with me. The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Yes, dear students, how beautiful the preamble of the Indian Constitution is. I hope you all might not have understood the preamble in very much detail, because nobody can explain the preamble in a very perfect manner. It is we who have to read the preamble, who have to understand each and every part of it, each and every word of it, and then try to read it by ourselves once again, and that is when we get a better idea of the preamble every time we read it. And on this day, I would also like to tell each and every one of you, it might be whatever profession we are going to undertake in future. You might be a doctor, you might be an engineer, you might be a lawyer, or you might be even a nurse, or anything else, or you might be even a businessman. You basically need to know that not every citizen of India will know the entire constitution or will know the entire acts or legislations perfectly. No, nobody knows. But remember, if you know the preamble, it is just like you know the part of the Indian Constitution, you know what our Constitution actually means, and you know the laws mentioned in the Constitution of India will keep you safe, will protect you, and will keep you equal amongst all. That is my sole message for everyone listening to me today. And at this point of time, I would also like to thank the heads of the Institute, St. Cecily's School, the staff, the faculty, and to all the dear students who have been listening to my small lecture for this past 10 to 12 minutes. So stay at home, stay safe, and take care of each and everybody as well in this difficult times of pandemic. Thank you.